What's up, everybody? It's Coach TJ Tibbs, Coach Khalil Shorter.
So
Uh,
guys,
Here to really hope you guys are having a great day so far at the camp. We got a lot of great coaches in here and a lot of great people helping out. Hope you guys are having a great time. You know, we got everybody from around the world. Um, so as we get into this little break, Coach Khalil and I just wanted to have a discussion about some of the things going on in the world today and how you and everybody else could be a leader, whether it be in your school, in your community, amongst your friends, because we know, no matter what age you are, this could be a really tough time for everybody. So we just want to have a conversation about things and try to help you be a leader when you're addressing situations or anything going on. So, uh, Coach Khalil, I mean, we have these discussions from
all the
time
time.
to time. Yeah. So, how I know we're adults, so it's easier for us to have conversations. But when you're talking about 7-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids, 18-year-old kids, it's all different, right?
100%.
But how would you suggest kids go forward and regardless of whatever it is, regardless of what's going on right now, with being a leader and having maybe some tough conversations with their friends?
First off, I wanted to say I'm proud of everyone for coming through this hard time right now. And you guys are obviously here trying to get better your craft, or even do something out of your comfort zone. So that's first off, I'm proud of everyone for doing that. But then to answer your question, it varies from different situations. We have people from all over the world, so I'm going to try to generalize as the best way I can, because some things we may go through here in the States, someone else maybe somewhere else not going through. It's like dominant, but it's all about educating yourself. Listen to when if you're being educated about something, and have honest conversations. Don't be afraid to learn about someone else's background. We all, if we can have a Zoom call and see everyone, all the camera faces, you'll see people of different colors, different races, different religions. So it's okay to want to ask a question about it. You shouldn't feel upset by not knowing, but you shouldn't assume. So if you don't know something about a race, you shouldn't just assume that's something you've seen on TV or something you read in a book. Granted, it may be true, granted, it may be wrong, but it's okay just to ask without insulting someone. And I think that's something we should touch upon, is just how to ask a question without insulting someone. So first step as a leader is just being okay with not knowing everything. Leaders are often people we think have to know everything, and you feel less of a leader if you don't know something. But someone, wink wink, told me, Coach Tibbs, like, it's okay to not know. Then when you act, and if someone says something like, hey, did you know that? And you don't raise your hand, you're wrong, because you didn't know it. So it's just, basically understanding, being okay with asking questions. And when they ask a question, don't listen to react, listen to actually take in information.
Yeah, and to understand, I think that's a lot of great points where first understanding what you don't know,
Yeah.
and not assuming, and trying to listen to understand. And what somebody told me a while back is, when you're having a debate with somebody, and I don't have arguments with friends, or we have debates, one person has one opinion and somebody has another opinion, it doesn't make somebody right or somebody wrong. And I don't want to talk to you to be more right or have you be more wrong. I just want to talk to you to understand where you're coming from and understand where I'm coming from. Because if we both feel very strongly about something, it could be something as small as, is LeBron James the GOAT or is Michael Jordan the GOAT? But I'm going
Yeah.
to come with the facts that I feel, and you're going to come with the facts you feel. We may not change each other's opinion, but to have a little bit better of an understanding brings us closer to the middle. And I think that's a huge thing that anybody of any age can do. And for me, especially with younger kids, and especially kids that are seeing a lot of these things for the first time, or maybe never had to have these type of conversations, or I think a big thing for them is to understand that the more that you treat everybody the way that you want to be treated, the easier things will be as you get older. So these are a lot of problems that are going on amongst adults or older kids. But when you're 5 years old, or you're 7 years old, or you're 9 years old, and it's hard to really understand what's going on, the one thing I go back to is, just really constantly trying to treat people the way that you want to be treated. and listening to people when they talk,
Yeah.
because we all have our differences. We could look the same. Me and Coach Khalil look the same, except for his shiny hair. But we look the same, but that doesn't mean that we like the same things. It doesn't mean that we act the same way. We have a lot of things that are different. We're very unique people.
Yeah.
But how do you personally feel about the climate? Like, how are things changing rapidly, right? So we went through the COVID situation, which was drastic. It felt all across the world, so everybody's been there. And a lot of people quarantining, staying in their house, so that's affecting some people's mental health and exercising. And then now we have things with protest and things going on. you know how do you feel about the state of not only the country today or New York City, but the world? What do you think about everything that's going on?
I feel like it's a sensitive, climate right now where everything's at uneasy, but I feel like it's a lot of uncertainty, and with uncertainty comes, some ignorance. Some uncertainty comes some people not fully understanding and wanting to understand, but use their own judgment and just jump on out. So like it's a lot of just uncertainty. That's the only word I can use right now. It's a lot of uncertainty. So some people are scared, and when people are scared, the defense mechanism is to, I know this is all I know, and that has to be right. And that's some people's defense mechanism. And you can never tell someone they're wrong about how they feel about something unless it's proven facts X Y Z. But at the end of the day, it's like your defense mechanism shouldn't be I'm right. It should be okay. I may be right or wrong, but let me listen to the other side of the story, like you just said. So like we and it's so much of TV and media based that it's hard to tell. Obviously a lot of kids in this camp that don't watch TV and don't watch the media because all they got to do is unlock their phone, and then everything they don't want to see or what they want to see is literally right there. So it's just like what you take in, you have to take it in with absorption and know that some people are force feeding you stuff for good, and some people are forcing you to bad. Now it's where you come in and educate yourself to weed out the bad stuff. It's just like a file cabinet. You're gonna put a lot in there, but when you organize it, everything else is just gonna come apart. But yeah, like you said, the climate's uncertainty, and it's just a lot of bad energy coming in. But I don't want to shower what's going on with bad energy, because some of these things is going on, it's leading to very good things. Like we have this going on, you get what I'm saying? And I don't want to blame it on COVID-19, but or what's going on. But BU Stay True wouldn't probably have reached Ireland, and all these people would have ever worked together without, something like this going on. So there's a lot of good coming from it, but like you said, there's also a lot of bad, and uncertainty is just my answer.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, and I think you hit it right on the head with a lot of points, is that it's so easy to point out the bad. Media and the way things are today is set up for you to see bad things, because you're going to react to something you see that's bad. Being angry is a stronger emotion than being happy, and it shouldn't be. But if I told you, how do you feel when you're angry? A lot of people can really feel that, the clenched fist, or maybe strain in their face, and you can remember a time vividly where you were really angry. But it's not as easy to maybe articulate that or say that about being happy.
Yeah.
And it's just the nature of our world. And I think there are a lot of people, whether it be in the media or social media, which we'll get into, that are trying to divide people for their own agenda, their own reasons. So we need to do our own research. And what I try to do when I have debates about anything is to come with facts. Or if there's something that I think that my friends are saying, try to hold them accountable for what they're saying based on a fact. You can't just tell me that the sky is purple. Show me the sky is purple. Show me that. And then I will agree with you that the sky is purple. But I think it's blue because every time I look into the sky, it's blue. So that sounds like an elementary argument, but especially for our younger kids out there, it's okay, I know how I feel, and we have a right to our feelings, but also we have a right to understand that some things are not up for debate as far as facts. You can't change a fact just because you feel a certain type of way. What role do you think, and I'll start with it, social media is such a huge thing. You have TikTok, right? You got your TikTok out there. You got your whole thing up there doing all that. You got Instagram, you have Twitter, you have Snapchat and anything else that's out there. So kids have access to so many things right away. And it's different from when me and you were growing up. Not that we're dinosaurs, but we didn't have the ability to feel something and then put it out there into the world 5 seconds later so everybody can know that, you know. If I had to pick up the phone and call my friend or wait till I seen them to let them know how I felt about something. But now you could let complete strangers know in Ireland how you feel about something as it's happening, which is fascinating. But also what happens is that because I feel kids get a lot of information right to their phones that they just read the headlines, right?
Yeah.
Kids do a lot of this, a lot of scrolling. They just see the first thing that's going on. And the one thing I would like to see kids do is read a little bit more, and not just the headlines of something or not just the 60 seconds of an Instagram video. When you see an Instagram video getting shared and it says 3 minutes and 21 seconds, don't just repost it because you liked the first caption. Actually watch the video and know what you're sharing. And I think what a lot of people see, especially the older kids in here, is that there have become a lot of situations where people are being held accountable for the things that they tweet or Facebook. And people are really calling them out for that. So while, yes, we have freedom of speech and we can say whatever we want, we can't say whatever we want without consequence.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, what role do you think social media plays? Because I know kids have phones now. There may be 7-year-olds watching this that are eating their food during their break and scrolling through their phone. You know, what role do you think social media plays, and how do you think we can use or we can help kids use social media as a positive?
Yeah, kind of testament to your story, and I'll get into it. I was like on Facebook yesterday, and this might it pertains to kids and adults, but an adult reposted something like Vegas hotels want people to come back, giving rooms for $10. So everyone's like, oh, $10 rooms. But then all you have to do is just click the link and it said to royalty members. Like literally that was the next line, it said royalty members. So I'm pretty sure out of the 1,000 whoever posted it, only about 12 of them are probably royalty members. But that's usually how it goes. You see the headline, then you click on something. So like you said, kids need to read more. And like the more kids don't read, more we're gonna have more like TikToks. TikTok is what, a minute, 60 seconds. We had Vine. Vine was 15 seconds. So these companies know kids' attention spans are like this. So they every platform is just gonna be getting shorter and shorter. Just the next thing you know, you're gonna have a whole article within God knows how many seconds. But like you said, just read into it. It's okay to fact check something like in school when you hand in a paper and you give a fact, they fact check you right away, make sure it's right, source it, cite it. Like they do that for a reason, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be, fugazi. Then you get a lot of people's opinions out there now. So like you get an article and maybe from, I guess, a website that's not, hiding a name, but it get a lot more retweets than US Post. Does that make it okay? Like I could tweet something right now, the sky is blue, and I can get someone, if I get 1 million retweets, there's going to be a lot of kids out there that thinks the sky is blue just because of the retweets. So you have to just have a mind for your own. Social media can be a blessing and it can be a curse just because it takes kids' thinking process and minds away from them.
Right. It manipulates them. It manipulates the fact that, kids are only going to pay attention, like you said, for 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and they try to get their point across that quickly without any substance. And I think a big thing that you said is using social media in a good way. I think there are a lot of great things about social media, especially connecting with friends. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but understanding that I'm not taking a random tweet or a post from somebody that I do not know without fact checking it. And even so, I know everybody in here is smart enough to have their own thoughts or their own feelings. I think the retweet button and the reshare button is not used correctly. It's used a lot to, what it represents is, it shows people that it represents what you think, and you may not have even read it all the way through or understand who the person is that posted that and what their agenda is trying to drive that. Let's transition into something else. So something that could be a really hard topic, even for us as adults. A hard topic is that, we're both younger Black males.
Mm-hmm.
in a climate in society right now where it sounds like you're being made to choose. You're either being made to choose whether you're going to tell people that you're not racist and that you like black people, or that you're not going to say anything, and some people are going to think that you're racist.
Yeah.
We both have friends of all types of
Yeah.
shapes, sizes, makes, and models, everything for our whole entire life. So we have been fortunate to be blessed with perspective to see it from a lot of different ways. Like I tell people all the time, I grew up with poor black people. I grew up with poor white people. I grew up with rich white people. I grew up with rich white people. I grew up with white people with one parent in the home. I grew up with black people, one parent in the home. I've seen it all. So
Yeah.
I know because of my perspective that something that is said about a certain race happens in other races, because I have friends and I know families like that. What do you think if you're somebody both of color
Mm-hmm.
and somebody not of color? What do you think is the best way? Because I know there could be kids who are looking like, wow, I'm not a person of color and maybe I don't understand what's going on, but how do I show, since social media is telling me that I need to say something, I need to post a black box,
Yeah.
and if I don't, then people are gonna think that I'm racist. Like, what is your advice to kids who are not of color for what they can do right now?
I think I was sitting down and like obviously I'm a teacher, so I'm trying to like daily figure out ways to explain it to my kids, and like so I broke it down into like words and segments. One would be like you said, perspective. Get it from someone else's perspective. So just throwing the word perspective out there and just getting it from one side and other side, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Then before that, another word I would use is understanding. Understanding when the next person is coming from. So you have perspective, you have understanding. So you have to understand that you're not the only race. You're not the only one that's going to feel like this. And someone else may think that the way you feel may be wrong, but it's not your job to correct them. That's not your job. It's not your job to correct them. It's your job to let them know this is how I feel and this is how it's being perceived. So I have perspective, understanding, courage. Have the courage to step out of your own box and explore. Like we said, we had friends from all different cultures, and I had the courage to be a young black male to go into an all white party and understand like that. It doesn't seem like courage, but that's courage. I could have been walking into something that could have changed my life forever. I could have walked in there and got called XYZ, or walked in there and did something that could have changed my life forever, but I had the courage to actually step out of my box and do that. So definitely have the courage and empathy. Have empathy to the other side. You can't say, like you said, you hung out with black families that were rich and poor, but you have to have empathy to the white family that doesn't have the same struggles that you do. You can't say just because you're a different skin tone, everything's all glitter and gold over there. So it's just like everyone's situation is different. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, and it's how you talk to people. So I would say like the 4 words I would use, and if you ever need help, you can definitely, anyone could email me. It's understanding, perspective, courage, and empathy.
Yeah, and I think as always you hit it right on the head. And for everybody to try to understand what they can do, because we were transitioning from social media, but social media plays a part because a lot of times with kids, social media is their front door. It is their representative. So a lot of times kids only know of other kids based on what they post on social media. So
Yeah.
somebody would say, well, this person didn't post anything. This person didn't post a black screen, so they might be racist. And that's not true.
Yeah.
You are who you are by how you carry yourself every single day. You shouldn't have to defend who you are, but you should also be understanding of what's going on today, what everybody's struggles are, but more importantly, what the struggle is right now, what the attention is on right now, and having empathy to that, having understanding, and understanding that everybody's going through something for sure, but right now at this moment, a bunch of people in the world feel very strongly about this topic. And if you don't understand because you haven't been through it, that's fine. But to step out there and have the courage to educate yourself,
Yeah.
and to up your understanding. So I think those are the biggest things. So this doesn't mean that you're not friends with
The next,
somebody of a different race. It doesn't mean that everybody that you see that's not of your race is looking at you differently. But I think if you're going to dive into conversations, which I think everybody should, you should come in there with some facts and be prepared to walk out of there changed,
yeah,
one way or another, because we're all not 100% right about anything.
yeah,
But when you go into conversations with people that you respect or people you're just meeting and can have a conversation and try to say, oh, okay, I need to step outside of somebody. I need to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't look like me,
yeah. That's the first thing.
right? Because a lot of
Something like,
times,
I remember you said something like, and I'm not gonna get too political here, but let's just say your favorite player is LeBron, and if you think LeBron does everything right, and you know where I'm hinting at, I don't want to get too political on here, but if you think everything LeBron say is right, then how can I take your advice from it? Like, you got to believe something. LeBron does something wrong. I mean, granted, he's really, really good, but like, it got to be something. Maybe he doesn't take that last shot, but he has to do something wrong, and everything he says is not correct. So if you apply that to outside, like whoever you're, the highest, your political person, if you believe that they don't do anything wrong, not one thing, whether you love them to death or you agree, like, you got to believe everything they do, it can't be right. So that's just something you just have to take in.
yeah, tremendous point. And great analogy, great use of LeBron because, as great as he is, he does do things wrongs or things that you can criticize. And I think that's important. It's okay to have love for, I don't want to say a side, but it's okay to have love for a certain group of people and to have pride in that. And I think that's awesome that people have pride and passion and really care about a certain group because that's how they feel, because they know somebody or because that's their ethnicity or
Yeah.
something that's cool. But also at the same time, to bring more validity to your arguments, it goes a long way when you step and say, hey, yeah, in this case, I'm not or we're not doing something great here. And
Mhm.
these things need to change. You can have a debate with somebody and tell, I agree with what you're saying. You don't have to agree with the overall stance, but you
Mhm.
can agree with the point that they're making. And I think the biggest thing is that people feel that when you're on two different sides of an argument, that everything that they say, you just naturally just can't agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's not true. And it happens to me almost every single day, and I'm lucky, but you also have to go seek and want to have conversations that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable or a lot of bit uncomfortable with people who are not going to agree with you. It's easy to have conversations with people who are going to agree with you,
Yeah.
who think ice cream is great. I want to debate with somebody who thinks ice cream is the worst thing in the world because you're going to put on weight or it just doesn't taste good. And I'm look at them crazy, but I would like to hear their perspective
Yeah.
about things.
Even if you put it into like the basketball realm, you wouldn't want a head coach to have a yes man as an assistant coach, because how does the team or the coach get better? It's like, and there's a way to challenge someone. And I think as we all grow up and as we get older, for the young kids out there, there's a way to challenge someone without being disrespectful or rude. So like in a professional setting where a head coach is the coach and assistant coaches, like hierarchy, it's okay if the coach says we're going with 2-3 zone. You can say, hey, coach, I don't think that's a good idea. Well, last time we went, you just don't say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea and mope and pout about it. You can say, hey, head coach, I think we should go 2-3 because last time we went 2-3 against a team like this, the statistics show that they shot the ball as better. Now, it's better than you're disagreeing, but you're giving an understanding behind it, And I feel like for kids now, let's just bring it into their situation. I'm a teacher. It's okay for a kid. A teacher says something you necessarily don't agree. You don't raise your hand and go, "Oh, that's wrong." Now you're coming out as defiant. You're coming out as rude. You can raise your hand and say, "Hey, I have a question about that. Is it any way the question could be this because X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z?" And now it's coming off as less rude, but you're still giving your point, and obviously there's a way of words how you put it, but definitely like that's just a conversation and something that you can do. Like I say all the time, not what you say, is how you say it, And I just feel like if you come with facts behind it and you're not talking to the person, you're talking to them, and you're not talking at the person, you're talking to them, it can go a really long way. Because arguments is usually, it's always like a head. But it's like, I understand you, but this is what I mean. Now we're back to here. So there's never a higher up. It's just like, I understand you, but stuff like that.
Yeah, and for me, I think one thing I wanna get off my chest about things is that there's also an understanding and unfortunately an acceptance that there are going to be some people you come across that are just not going to want to hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
There are people out there that have ignorance and people that are really stuck in their ways. And do they have a right to be that way? Of course, they have a right to be that way. Doesn't make them bad people necessarily. It is their views. Some people just aren't as open to everything that you're trying to say or to change, and that's their right. But just because you may have a negative experience with somebody doesn't mean that that represents everybody in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't like LeBron means everybody from the state of Ohio is just a bad person, or I don't like everybody from Ohio. So I think Coach Khalil, you've hit on a lot of different things.
Yeah, like you said, people are gonna stay in their their mindset, and that's fine, but the best thing you can do is not give them what they want. If they have a mindset about you, and no matter what color race they are, if they have a mindset about XYZ color race, and they think something, you don't want to step out of your character to give them what what they want. You get what I'm saying? So just stay. I use the term kill them with kindness. That's what you could do. Just kill them with kindness. They're stuck in their ways. They feel that way with you. Sorry you feel that way, sir, ma'am. It's okay. I understand where you're coming from, but when you're ready to have a conversation, that's fine with me, and we can move on. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to see each other. But whenever you see them, if you want to say hello, give them a head nod. Just be respectful, but you don't have to necessarily go out your way to be rude, and that's fine. I feel like we come across as adults, people who we blatantly know don't feel a certain way, but I think it kills them more that we know, and we kill them with kindness. So I think that puts you in a winning mind state no matter what.
Yeah, the most important thing to me is to be yourself. I think that's what Be You Stay True is all about is being yourself, staying true to yourself. But understanding that as you go on in life, you're gonna learn more, you're gonna grow more, but you're always gonna be that person who you are at the core of who you are. And you shouldn't change just for the sake of changing. You should change because it's gonna be better for you, and because you're learning more and you're more educated. And everybody here, no matter what they look like, how big they are, what age they are, nobody here is the same. Everybody is different.
Everyone.
Everybody's different. But the one thing that we all are, we're all a team. We're all part of us. The human race. You're a team with people you live in the same community. You're a team with people you go to school with. You're a team with people in the world. Those are the biggest things that we just have to continue to remember. And I think the younger group and the kids that are listening to this, they are the future of what we're going to do. So you guys getting educated is the most important thing for us. But with that, man, Coach Khalil, as always, you've been amazing for the participants. I'm sure we gave them a lot of knowledge for their lunch break. And this has been enjoyable as always to have a conversation. I've learned a lot as always when I speak with you, and I hope everybody here has learned a lot. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. And we're gonna kick it to Coach Kayla. You're gonna get to that shooting station. Y'all have a great day.